So, you want to study in the US? Well, you're in the right place because today I, as an exchange student that came from Turkey into the United States to study here, will be sharing my experiences and hopefully give a perspective on how it is to be a student here and what kind of differences there are between my previous education and like my education in university and this education that I am currently receiving. And it's been a month, so I think I got a pretty good grasp. I haven't been into any exams, but I kind of been able to learn how these lessons worked. And let me start by saying that I was in Başşehir University in Turkey, and that is regarded as below average, as a below average university. And through a program called US Study Abroad or Washington DC Study Abroad, I came here for one term to study for my to continue my bachelor's. And I used to study, but I'm still in the computer engineering field in Başşehir University, but here in Bay Atlantic University, kind of like a cousin to my Başşehir University, I am studying as a software engineer, software engineer student, engineering student. So the first point I want to talk about is the difference in homeworks or like assignments. Now, when it came to university, especially when I graduated from high school and got into university, the assignments were very different, and we didn't have stuff like weekly homeworks, and things were either long-term projects, exams, or quiz-like stuff where once a week maybe we would, or like twice a week, we would have a short quiz that would affect our final score from the lecture. But here in the United States, I realized that the home assignments and the involvements in class as well are a lot more there are a lot more assignments both in class and outside of class, and sometimes you need to find a group, like you're put in a group for example and are asked to answer a couple of questions individually, but you have to submit it as a group, which is kind of a weird concept, but we're doing that. And then there is I for some reason took a lot of English writing courses because I wasn't able to pick, I didn't have that many options, and the ones I picked, some of them were cancelled or something happened and they didn't get accepted. So but with those I am doing a lot of writing and a lot of reading, and for someone that has not done this kind of thing like essay writing and academic research and academic writing, it is quite a lot to be doing weekly. And yeah, I can say that I have never written more in a month in my life before. So it is certainly a new experience. But another point is that the lessons have very strict attendance policies. For example, in my old school, Başşehir University, I could just, some lessons, actually most of them, didn't take attendance at all, and the ones that did, the minority of them were, the minority that did take these attendances usually gave usually said like you have to join 60% of the classes, and you have to attend 60% of the classes, and the rest you're good, you're fine. Above that you fail. But here, if you miss one class, that's it. You can't miss any other one. So you give one freebie, and if you miss another, you fail the class, which is really scary, especially if you are not used to this style of always showing up on time, which luckily I was going to school each time despite not having attendance. So having attendance didn't really change that, just made it more stressful, because even though I know I'm going to the school, for example, I'm going to Los Angeles at the end of September, and my flight from Los Angeles to DC, the estimated time of arrival is 7 a.m. on Monday, and I have class on 1 p.m. On the same day. So I have like 5-6 hours between arriving in Baltimore airport and reaching my class in Washington DC. Yeah, that I don't know how that is going to work, but it certainly has been a bigger problem for my friends who I met here, and they didn't always go to classes, and so they said that it was a lot harder for them to adjust. I haven't heard anyone failing any classes yet, but who knows? I mean, it's a lot more likely to happen. I, for one, have not missed any classes, thankfully. But yeah, it's something to keep in mind. Also, more general stuff like opening a universal card, credit card or bank account to use in the United States, because when you're dealing with so much stuff as a student, the simple things usually get swept aside, and my dealings with Bank of America, the card company I provided, bank that I applied to, I had the process lasted around 3 weeks for me to get my card, and then I got my credit card too. But yeah, if you have an international card before coming here, that will save you a lot of time and worry, because for example, one of my friends had a bank called Jepteteb, or like Teb, and it had a connection with Bank of America, so that just like a Bank of America card, you could use it and pay for stuff and get money out of the ATMs. So I didn't have that, and we would always, like before my card came, we would always pay him in cash, and then for example, our trip to New York and Boston, he got all the hotels and Airbnbs and travel things, and we would split the pay in cash and give it to him, which was a funny time, especially like we had just met. It had been a week, and when it comes to money, it's difficult to trust strangers, obviously, but the people that you first met, I don't know, like he is a very chill guy, so thankfully nothing happened. But if you don't want to be struggling like I did, try to find and open an international bank account that has a connection with one of the banks here in America. And I stay in the dorms, but if that's not your situation, I don't know about that. But if you're going to stay in the dorms, do learn simple stuff like washing your clothes, cooking simple food, because the best way to stay healthy is to know what you are eating and eat regularly as you would in your home country, as you would in your home. And I don't know how young you will be when you come here, but I, as someone who is 20 years old right now, I'm just now learning the simple stuff, but I have adjusted like you will adjust no matter what, but how difficult it will be depends on how willing you are to learning these. For example, some people, even after a few months, they still never make food at home. It's both more expensive and generally not as healthy because you don't know what they're putting in it. And usually it's fine, like you can live off that, but as someone who was raised with two doctor parents, I really value my health and what I eat. So I pretty much cook every meal except for when I'm going out with friends. That's obviously like just eat at that point. That's like, it's fine. But yeah, learn the basic chores. And yeah, something else is knowing people in like the United States. Ask your circle, ask your parents, ask anyone who has a connection or like has someone that is living in the United States, so that when you need help, you can just talk to them about it or maybe visit them, because I'm visiting all kinds of places. I visited person I knew, a contact in Ashburn, Washington DC, or no, is that might be Maryland or Virginia, but you get what I'm saying. And I was going to meet someone in Boston as well, but our schedules didn't meet. And now I'm planning, like I said, on my LA trip, I will be visiting contacts in Los Angeles. Same goes for Chicago. I'm trying to set that up right now. Hopefully I can do that, but having those people will really help you get a fuller experience of living in America. So I really suggest you do that. And this last point is try not to get sick, because I mean, obviously, as you might have heard, if you're thinking about studying here in the US, healthcare is very complicated, especially if you don't have insurance, very expensive. But even if you do have insurance, it is not very simple, because there is no centralized government network for it, and all the healthcare companies are kind of like, they do share information, but from what I heard, it is difficult to find what you are looking for, especially in treatment. And if it is something serious, obviously you don't have a choice, but learn the simple stuff like surviving a cold on your own, and try to bring medicines, because I brought some. Luckily I haven't needed to use any except for multivitamins, but that's like just for staying safe. Once my throat got sore, and pretty much I just drank warm stuff, like not too hot, and didn't drink any cold, kept myself warm, and just continued eating healthy and took multivitamins, and I was fine in a few days. And this was during my trip to New York and Boston too, so it was a scary time. But yeah, these are all tips for transitioning into the student life in America, as in the United States, as easily as possible. So I hope that this video was useful to you, and if it was, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for my future videos that might help you, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.